How's it going, everybody? In today's video, we're going to be kind of talking over a little bit of the different playstyles that you can play with yesterday's video's Stasis Titan. So, I went over the basics yesterday, where Strategist gives you more Hoarfrost, and you use Hoarfrost and your Glacier Grenade, along with the Uppercut Melee, to essentially infinitely spam crystals. So, one of the ways that I was initially taught how to use this was throw melee first, use that around a wall, burn said melee, and then use that to gain some frost armor and damage, as you'll see with collective action in the bottom left of my screen. That is essentially how you'll use the melee, is just purely to charge your second melee, give you collective action and frost armor, and just use it as a way to get cover around a wall. So if we use that there now, let's say this is a wall and we've got guardians or whatever standing right over there. Instead of running out and sliding out, what you can do is slide and throw the barricade, or the melee at least. You want to behave there nicely. So we'll use that to create more. But what you'll do is you'll slide, you'll create the crystal wall here, and now you can slide behind that. Actually, we can demonstrate that here in a moment. Crystal wall. Now you can slide behind it, you can see enemies pretty easily. They're going to struggle to see you, except behind that one. But now, since you're using an automatic weapon with rending, you get to burn through that, hit your new optimal TTK of about 0.67 or whatever it may be in your optimal TTK, because you can line up headshots, track with the weapon, and just burn them down nice and easy. While they have to try and burn the crystals to get to you. And then what you'll do is then you'll use the Hoarfrost to reproc and increase the timer on frost armor. So when you use melee, you'll use one of those, create a frost shard, and you'll just use it to constantly keep your timers at maximum. And just throw melee again. And if you're playing with an Omnioculus Hunter, most likely what they'll do is they'll try to motion to you to either throw a barricade, or a glacier in this instance, or a barricade, to charge them their smoke bomb. And then if you do that, you already have another way to spam crystals, so now you get to, generally speaking, take advantage of that as well. What we'll do here is I'll go get Strategist, more kills for Strategist, so I can proc my melee again soon here. So, another thing that you can do with this, if I remember correctly here, is that you can also use it in a sense of pure cover. And you will freeze guardians in the stasis barricade sometimes. It is extremely rare, but it is possible. Now, generically, this, I'm going to demonstrate how you're going to use it in a 2 or 3 stack with an Omnioculus Hunter, now that I have all of my abilities charged again. Generally speaking, you're going to start off, your Hunter's going to Omnioculus you around here. This is your cover. You're going to throw that, slide behind it, watch for where your enemies are, and use that as straight cover. Throw the Glacier to then confirm said kill. Use that to freeze a target, and then if you ever, for whatever reason, run out of, or are running close to empty on either Frost Armor or Collective Action, you use Hoarfrost Barricade to reactivate it. Now, I can't quite demonstrate it here as I am solo, but what you can do is when you have 2 Behemoth Titans, what you'll do is you'll trade out who is shooting which crystals. So let's say there's me and another Stasis Titan. We both throw our melee. I'm not going to shoot mine, I'm going to shoot his. Now I've summoned stasis shards, he summoned stasis shards, but I'm not on timer yet. So now, I get complete access to essentially a smaller or light version of Old Behemoth's shard spam. And then we both get that. So now we've essentially created 2 melees for free, just because we shot each other's crystals. And then if you pair that with an Osmiomancy Warlock, an Omnioculus Hunter, you are bound to have plenty of easy kills, because you can go invis, you get resist, and then you get to keep doing it over and over again, because every time an Omnioculus Hunter smokes 2 of you, he will get his smoke bomb back instantly. And if he doesn't, oh, well, there you go. That's a free melee charge. With an Osmiomancy Warlock, you're essentially charging them their staff, which is one of the best freeze melees in the game. Besides that, you're also giving them the option of more stasis energy on just shooting and breaking a crystal if they, for whatever reason, are in need of that. So then you still get to take full advantage of the rest of your crystals. But let's say the Osmiomancy Warlock shoots and breaks this small one. Now he has the increase to his grenade recharge. You still have most of your crystals, and the cycle continues. Another way you could potentially run this that I was finding out yesterday is that running this with a Stasis Hunter or a Prismatic Hunter, doesn't matter, they can infinitely spam hurricanes, which have some very bizarre and very unique tracking to them. The other option you have is a Strand or Prismatic Hunter with the Rope Dart, because that Rope Dart travels similarly in a sense to how Kvostov's ricochets do. It'll just find targets out of nowhere, which is strong, but when you're doing something like this, you're looking for a strong pairing. Another option would be a Sentinel Shield running Shield Throw, because then if they're doing Shield Throw like that, let's say they're an Ursa Titan, Shield Throw charges them grenade energy on hits, and then as well gives them Overshield, which then procs a faster grenade recharge from there, and they will almost never run out of this melee, which it is a really strong melee, by the way. I'm surprised I don't see more people run it, because it's just that good. All you have to do is watch for your reticle to turn red. I don't know if it will, and there it goes. Just watch for a red reticle, and then you've got an almost guaranteed hit with the shield throw. Otherwise, if you've got a T-Clap a T-Clap Titan, you charge them T-Clap, they just go ahead and say, alright, I'm charging up my fist, let me take out that super real fast. Bam, and they can do it twice. So then you've got point contact cannon brace as a possible option there. It may not be a competitive option, but it is an option. Otherwise, let me think of some other possible combinations here by going through exotics and armor. You have potential, let's see, second chance, which gives you weaken on shield throw. Another very solid option. One of my favorites, actually. Another option, I believe, is no backup plans, which I believe takes your melee and then we'll turn that and convert it into an overshield. So you can essentially give free infinite overshield to a shotgun rushing Titan. Point contact cannon brace. You've got Pyrogale on Prismatic, because now you can essentially give them infinite Pyrogale just because they have access to the shards. Other options include Severance Enclosure. The way that the change works is that now they have to use a charged melee of some kind. It has to expend that charge, which Prismatic Titan or Strand Titan do exceptionally well, so there is a very viable option there with Severance. Very unknown exotic. Interesting. Apparently I don't have one. Let's go to Warlock or to Hunters here. You have Sealed Ahamkara Grasp. If they're running Prismatic with Smoke Bombs, they get free Stompy. Essentially, it's a Bones of AO light for about 5 seconds. So, Smoke Bomb Prismatic Hunters get increased jump height on triple jump or other jumps of their choosing. You've got Athersism Brace. You give them more knives, which means more one-hit body throwing knives. You've got the options of Ophidia Spathe. Gives you 2 knives. Now you can charge more of those. Alright, we can do it in orbit now since I've shown what I wanted to do here. Alright, but going back to collections here, and on Hunter, we were just looking at some of these. Caliban's Hand is another one that could benefit from this, because it improves Proxy Knife's effectiveness and regen speed. So they throw Proxy Knife, they gain energy off of your shards, and the regen from Caliban. Now they throw more knives. You've got options like Omnioculus, that's the main pairing here. Other solid options here. I think that's about all of them for Hunter. That was the class item, that's what that is. Now to Warlock. Crown of Tempests. You have the option to give them more of their slide melee on either Prismatic or just your true arc. So now they get more slides, which means more jolt, more kills, more often. You could always do it with an Eye of Another World Warlock, which always has a good regen speed on their ability. So a Stasis Warlock or a, let's say, Prismatic Warlock would be the better option here, because you have some of the better melees available to you, along with faster recharge based basic just across the board on all of your other abilities. So you give them more of their melee, freeze, the Void Boop melee, which is some stupid fun. So you get options. Of that, Bellwinter's Helm. I would think the Strand Dart on Prismatic with the Slide Melee, because that creates a burst that weakens enemies, and it does work in PvP. I used to run this genuinely for quite a while, actually, back in Worthy. So this is a solid option as well, and the fashion's not too bad either. Dawn Chorus improves the Scorch effect, so you can do more Scorch to targets. So Incinerator Snap, and they just spam it. And then they also use this with the new super for Solar, so they just spawn more of them, and more ignitions means more kills for your team, which is always good. Sunbrace was kind of the same deal. Melee kills gives you more energy for Solar Grenades, so then you give them more Celestial Fire. They get more kills with Celestial Fire, which means more nades. Karnstein's same deal. You've got the Uppercut Slide Melee, which would be an insane combo with this because it gives you health on those kills. Winter's Guile, melee kills increase melee damage. Potentially get a Stasis Staff that deals half health. That could be kind of fun. And they have more of them. Let's say Paws of Ahamkara, same kind of deal with Ophidia Spathe. You just get more melee charge, which means 2 free melees on Stasis or Prismatic. Necrotic Grips, you get more of the Prismatic slide melees, so you just do it more often. Let's see, what else do we got here that works with this? Not much else, it looks like. Everything else, I think, kind of builds into its own thing, which is either class ability or grenade. So I think that's about it. But those are kind of just some of the generic options that you could potentially run with this. Let's see. Do any of these else also have a decent insurmountable skull fort? Potentially infinite T-Clap Titan. That or... let's see, what would be another good option? Potentially infinite Shiver Strike. I think that covers it though for exotic pairings though, as there's not many more that base themselves around melee. That's just some of the other ways you could play this, and let me know if there's more that you guys have messed around with after having watched yesterday's video. I'd be curious to find out what you guys think and what you guys have tested. But yeah, that'll do it for this video, I think. Not a gameplay one, just kind of a let me talk through some other ideas that come to my head as I see them. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. If you run this setup, are you trying to run it with friends? Are you inviting people to take advantage of your class as a... what was it that I said yesterday? Class as a service Titan. Let me know down in the comments below, and with that, I will see you in the next video.